Hello, welcome back to another round of TFR eSports Season 25. Here we are for round 7 of the F3 division here in Azerbaijan for another round of hopefully exciting racing, because we've had a great season so far here in F2 and F3, sorry. We are once again expecting a close battle up front, which is what we have right now. We've only got 64 thousandths of a second separating the top three in the battle for pole position here, as Raheem is disqualified for, I think, reversing out the wrong way of the runoff. But it is a very tricky circuit here in Baku. We're expecting plenty of drama ahead with these challenging conditions. As you see with Curveball there smacking into the barrier, you're going to see a lot of that tonight. He's backed off, and that might be his qualifying done, and it is indeed, as he drives the car straight into the barrier, which is not going to be helpful for anyone else with that bit of debris hanging on the exit of the corner. Here is Ladanes though, currently third in the championship, had a decent result last time out in Monaco, and is trying to recover himself to get back into play. Scones, the championship leader, down in 6th place at the minute, with Alfie, the title challenger at the minute, in 4th place, about 3/10 off the pace. Ladanes then with the DRS wide open is coming up to the line, and he should take pole position here. Yes, he does, by a 10th of a second. Ultimate Stan is racing to get to the line. Curable is done. Ultimate Stan's not going to make it. He is not going to make it here. And Ladanes is looking incredibly strong. Alfie then going for a final run, and this will be a vital lap. Scones is in the pit lane. He's done. Nepatal is also just managed to get to the line. Norfie is done. Action Rick is also done. Sci-Fi Mega Hype as well is done, because he's invalidated his lap. So there's not a lot that's going to change here. It's only Nepatal and Alfie that can do something to upset Ladanes out front. But a great lap then from Ladanes. And Alfie, though, with a great first sector. 2/10 up so far. Oh, as he just clips the wall on the exit. And so too does the Ferrari right behind. So plenty of that already here in qualifying. But like I say, it is going to be so easy to lose a wheel in this race. It's going to be a bit of a survival of the fittest, because we have got sim damage on. It means any clip of the barrier, you're going to seriously face the consequences. Alfie then, with one more corner to go until the end of the second sector. It takes a lot of curb there on the inside. You've got to be a bit careful doing that, or else you can find yourself in the wall like Nepatal does in the background. Alfie's lost a bit of time in that middle sector, but if he's got a bit of a low wing setup, he might be able to gain a bit more time down this start-finish straight. And absolutely committed there through those couple of corners. I don't think Nepatal is on too great of a lap right behind him. So let's see then, can Alfie pull something at the back here to at least get on the front row? No, he actually loses time in the end, doesn't improve. And Nepatal as well had a scruffy lap there, and he remains in 8th. And there is Ladanes on his pole position, kind of celebrating lap, really, back to the pit lane, because he has done what he needed to do, and nobody else behind him actually improved and managed to get a decent lap on the board. And it will indeed be Ladanes on pole here in the F3 Azerbaijan Grand Prix. And well, some people saying they actually forgot to come out of the garage at Ultimate Stand, so bit of a critical error from him there. But it is just myself, CJH, in the commentary for this F3 race tonight, so do feel free to fire in plenty of questions in on the chat. Code Banner says, still don't know how Stan is in F3. So, Ultimate Stan, I'm sure if we checked his previous results, is fairly F3 tier. But he's not even on pole here, because this man here, Ladanes, has took pole position by about a 10th ahead of the British driver in the Alpine. We then have Garibaldi just under 2/10 behind him third, with now a little bit more of a gap to Alfie, and then an even bigger gap to Ollie Bean. And Scones, your championship leader, down in 6th there. A bit of a surprise, I'd have to say. A bit of a surprise, the fact that he's down in 6th there, but he has been a bit iffy in some of these qualifying sessions this season, and we'll see if he can recover himself in the race. This isn't going to be as bad as Monaco, but do expect quite a few collisions throughout. It's only a 25% race, but the start should be pretty explosive. So, B29, F1 driver Aston Martin says, all about saving the battery for the last straight. I think you're probably right. It is all about saving that so that you can deploy all of that battery to either make the overtakes or gain plenty of time down that extra long straight. It is all about, though, keeping it neat and tidy in those parts of the middle sector where it is quite twisty, a lot of 90-degree turns, because particularly in qualifying you will lose a lot of time, and so in the race. It doesn't matter though in the race if you are the car in front, because then you can play a bit of games and hold everyone up right behind you. So Ledain's then, that is his second pole of the season, and let's see what he can do starting from the top. He goes alongside United now for the most poles of any driver so far this season. And like I say, he's in third in the standings, 20 points off Scones. And, well, let's see if he can claw things back for himself in the championship. Alfie ahead of Scones on the grid spots for this race. And we're about to find out what's going to happen here. We got 3, 4, 5 red lights ahead of the drivers. And we are underway here in Baku. Ledain's then gets a fairly good launch and is well clear of United stand into the first corner. And the Ferrari, though, hangs around the outside of Karabel. What a move that is. Up into third place already. And that was somebody getting caught out there at the start. There's a dive bomb there from an Aston Martin. I think that was Scones. And I think he's got away with it. There's no damage on the car. And he is wheel to wheel there with Ollie Bean. He's on the soft tyres, so he's gone for an aggressive start there. And there's a change for the lead. And that is the Alpine in the wall. Ultimate stand there, couldn't get the car slowed down, hits the barrier. I don't think there's any damage. He's ghosting now, which is going to be unfortunate for him if Karabel gets ahead of him, although I think he's managed to maintain the position. He has. He's managed to just get later on the brakes there and unghost in time to stay ahead of Karabel. So plenty of drama there as a late lunge that was from Ultimate Stand from quite far back, because the fact that he went straight into the wall, I mean, he could have very easily DNF'd at that rate. They all get through the castle section fairly neat and tidy. There is damage on the front wing of Scones then. I'm not surprised. He tried a bit of an ambitious move, I think, into turn 2. There's damage on the Raheem as well, and the rest are fairly separated from the pack after a bit of a punchy start from some drivers there. So Ledain's then leads with a slim gap over Ultimate Stan, who doesn't have damage. I don't think he does. Can't quite see. Yeah, he doesn't have damage on that Alpine. He's going to have a right old run at Ledain's here down the start finish straight. You got Karabel and Alfie in the background. Like I say, we haven't got DRS yet on this lap, but come the next lap, this is going to be seriously dangerous for Ledain's if that gap remains the same. There we go then, on to lap 2. And your order on the screen there. Ledain's from Ultimate Stand, from Karabel, from Alfie and Scones in the top 5. With Ollie Bean hot on the tail of the Aston Martin, who, like I say, has got damage on that front wing. There is the DRS open on Karabel. There is the DRS open for Ultimate Stand as well. Has a little look to the inside. Doesn't try it this time around. He will not want to make that mistake again. He probably already has worn those mediums quite a bit by whacking into the barrier like he did. So Action Rick is our early pit stopper, getting rid of the tyres that he was on. He's on hard tyres now anyway, so he should go all the way to the end. I fear for him that there's probably better damage on that car, and that is why he is being forced into a very early pit stop. Through the castle section we go then. Ledain's keeping this neat and tidy at the minute, but he doesn't seem to have the pace. And look at that though, Karabel and Alfie there making contact, and they're going to hit the wall. They are going to hit the wall, and they're both off, and that, I mean, I'm not quite sure what has gone on there, but that will be going to the stewards, you would imagine, because why on earth those two cars were stuck together like that. There's more front wing going up in the air there, and that was off a Haas. And the McLaren then is now ahead of Alfie. We've then got Ollie Bean now up into 4th place, and we'll keep an eye on this for the lead, because Ultimate Stan should have a right old go then into the first corner. He's going to have great traction already, because he's already only half a second behind the Danes here. He's probably going to be emptying the ERS. DRS now wide open with the slipstream. He's got every possible thing he can need to get the move done here. Is he going to be close enough? No. So the Danes may be there with good straight line speed in that Williams, maybe a bit of a lower wing setup, was able to hold off Ultimate Stan quite comfortably there, unless Ultimate Stan is just biding his time. But Raheem then ahead on left. We've got another yellow flag, and that's a car gone off. That's Luke 2 Red. He's hit the wall at the first corner. So more debris on the circuit. We haven't had any safety car or VSC just yet, and there is a move then from Nepatal. Now back ahead of Raheem, and so Nepatal now, again, he's not got any damage, but obviously Raheem does. So Nepatal then, now the lead Ferrari. Karabald has stayed out. I think he's actually got away with it. There's no damage on that Ferrari as well, which is a bit of a shock to see. But Alfie then, like I say, second in the championship, has got a big old recovery drive to complete now, because it's going to be all about damage limitations for him after that collision. But I fear for him that one might go to the stewards later on, because why his car was linking back together with... Oh, and we've got Luke Tourette off, and that is a safety car. And we're going to see with Alfie here, who's just made his pit stop, but it will bring him back into play. There is Luke 2 Red. Be very careful running over that debris. You don't want to get a puncture. And Luke 2 Red there in the middle of the circuit, and has had a right old moment there. But yeah, Alfie there has been given a drive through for speeding under the safety car. His race goes from bad to worse. And how on earth he's just made that error, I'm not quite sure. But he didn't seem to be going anything too crazy quick there through the castle section. But drive-through penalty then for the second place in the standings. This is going from bad to worse for him. So everyone's piling in the pits because of this safety car, which in the 25% races is a bit of a free stop. Hard tyres go on for the top 4. With then Nepatal then on a fresh set of mediums, so he'll be one to keep an eye on. Karabal in the pits drops a position or 2 as Raheem doesn't change his front wing. Actually, that's a bit of a surprise. So he's not changed his front wing, but has got a fresh set of hard tyres on. Sci-Fi Mega Hype as well joining the hard tyre runners. Alfie has only just pitted for hards. Now, if I was Alfie, I would probably gamble on a fresh set of mediums pretty soon, because, well, you've got nothing to lose. You're going to be at the very back, and you're going to be even further back once you've served your drive-through penalty. Oh, we've got a car off. It's Raheem. He's gone straight on at turn 3 there, and just gets it going, but that will be incredibly frustrating for him, because he was running 6th, I think, there, and then dropping a couple of places. He might as well now as well get in the pits, get that front wing changed, and get a fresh set of boots on that car. So the Danes then will be getting us back underway in probably a lap or so's time. But this race is going perfectly for him right now in terms of his championship. And we are pretty much at the halfway point after this race tonight. So it is critical now for some of these drivers to start getting into some momentum. Let's have a look at the chat and what people are saying. So B29 saying Kerbal will have rear wing damage. I wonder if that was in qualifying potentially. Alfie Hards to the end. That was what he was doing, but not anymore. Chippy Capi says a sus place to crash for Luke 2 Reds. I wonder if he's hit the wall on the left-hand side, though, and bounced across the circuit. So, not too sure on that one. And then B29 also says, serve the drive-through at the restart for Alfie. I think Alfie should pit for mediums. He's not doing it, but I think that's the only way he could maybe maybe claw something back as, oh my word, a little look there to the inside from Sniper Mega Hype on Curribold into the first corner for some reason under the safety car. But yeah, I think he's going to really need to get a move on. And I mean, for Alfie's sake here, when this restarts, he has to hope for another safety car because the gap will be something like 20 seconds to the pack. And it's going to be very tricky for him to claw that all back. Well, I disagree with E29. I think the mediums should go to the end, and they're probably quite quick. So, if you want to continue the debate, join me in the commentary box. But we'll see. Nepatel's on the mediums in 4th place. Yes, of course, B29, but he can rejoin the back of the pack. Anyways, I will focus back onto commentating on the action on the screen instead of some raging washed Aston Martin driver in the live stream chat. But Luca says a couple of things in the chat there, and I believe that is actually Schaefer from the F2 division. So let me know if you've got any predictions on how you think this F3 division is going to shape up come the end of the season and also in this race. What is your top 3 prediction for the podium tonight? Because this could be a bit wide open, because the safety car early on now is going to bring the pack back together again and really spice things up for this second half of the race. So Ledanes then, how does he play this? Does he go right up to the line like a lot of people do at a circuit like this, or does he go quite early? It's going to be a tricky one because it's all going to be down to the timing. I think he is motoring along here, which might not be the wisest strategy to do because there's a bit of chaos behind, and I can still see the safety car in the distance. He's not hanging about here, and he is getting going again, and he's got ultimate stand right on his gearbox going into this first corner, and I'm not quite sure that's paid off for Ledanes because here goes ultimate stand. They're 4 wide in the background. Incredible stuff. And ultimate stand then takes the lead, and they've all gone off. They've all gone off. There's 2 cars in the wall there, and that is Curribold and Scones. Scones, your championship leader, is out of the race, and that was always going to end in tears with 4 cars going wheel to wheel. I think Ollie Bean as well has came off badly there. He's got big damage on the front wing, but absolute chaos there. Ultimate Stand then leads the way now on lap 6 of 13, and I wonder why Scones retired. His car wasn't out of the race, but he's obviously decided to call it quits at this stage, and well, it was just always going to end in tears that. 4 wide into the first corner, and I have to say Ledanes there just didn't quite play that safety car restart maybe the way he should have, because he's just allowed everyone there to be right on him, keeping such a high pace like that, and it's actually cost him the lead in the end. He's got to really knuckle down now and get back in range of going after their ultimate stand if he wants to win this race. They're wheel to wheel here, coming through here. That is a sketchy place. Go wheel to wheel, and look at that. Ollie Bean has smashed the barrier. How on earth that McLaren's not got a puncher? He might do very shortly because he's hit the wall again there. And there's the Williams of Action Rick now facing the wrong way as well. And I knew this restart was going to be chaotic, and it is absolutely chaotic at this stage. And Ollie Bean then is going to have to drag that McLaren back into the pits. But how those tyres haven't punctured yet. And look at that behind as well. Curribold right in the slipstream of Northey now. Should make the move down the start finish straight. Alfie's in the pits then, 7-inch drive-through penalty. There goes Curribold then up into P7 now. And with damage on the car though, well, he's been in the woods tonight, Curribold. SDRP clips the wall there on the exit, but Curribold seriously has been in some scraps tonight. So your top 3 then now: Ultimate Stan, Ledanes and Nepatel, locking it out there with a little bit of a gap then to these 2 fighting for 4th place behind. But someone's going to potentially get an unlikely podium tonight if they keep things clean, because this race is a little bit chaotic at the minute. Scones is not happy. He says, yeah, great racing. And I'm not surprised, to be honest. I'm not surprised he's not happy because, yeah, it was 4 wide into one corner. That was just never, ever going to end well. And Suskern says on the stream, Ledanes can hold it. I believe in the Williams. Well, I'm afraid to say, Suskern, it did not happen. And Ultimate Stan is now in the lead. Lucas saying Stan Cook. And yeah, the fellow Alpine driver is cooking at the minute because he's almost got a 2-second gap then to Ledanes. And well, Scones then, that is going to be huge for the championship. For Alfie, like I say, if he can get himself up the order, he's 8th at the minute with 8 seconds to Northey. If he gets his foot down, he should be able to catch that RB with the penalty that he's got as well. Carabol may be a bit more tricky to catch in these remaining laps, but Alfie, despite having a disastrous race here, might get away with it. And there is Cypher Mega Hype going right down the inside of the McLaren. Can he get it slowed down? Just about, but actually loses the place. He just probably braked a bit too late there. And we've got a move in the background. That is Action Rick actually gaining on Alfie here. And how about this? He doesn't quite go for the move, but Action Rick there with a purple final sector. Where on earth has that come from? As he now is putting Alfie under more pressure. If you're Scones watching this, you'll be desperate for Action Rick to hold up Alfie and limit the points that he's going to gain here. Raheem there getting very, very wide on the entry into that corner, almost brushing the barrier. He's got damage now on the front left end plate and the front right, so he's in big trouble. Cypher Mega Hype now joins him with front wing damage as he clips the front left end plate off his car. Carbold right behind as well has damage as well. There's a lot of cars with wounded, how would I say, aerodynamics at the minute. But Nev Patel running quite comfortable in P3, but he's been dropped by the top two. Ledanes then having to push quite hard. That gap is stabilised a little bit, but Ultimate Stan is quite comfortable out front. And, well, let's see then. Oh, I think someone's just hit the wall. I just had an absolute clatter against the barrier. I wonder if that was Ledanes, actually. No damage on the car. But Ultimate Stan then, he's not got too long to go. We got another yellow flag, and it's Alfie. It is Alfie there, and I think he's got a puncture. That car is, yeah, a front left end plate puncher. Sorry, a front left tyre puncher there. And what an absolute disaster of a race for him. He just needs to drag that back to the pits. Is that 2 punches on the car? It might be, you know, it is. It's a rear left and a front left. And this could be seriously damaging for him. I think it's a front left. It looks like it. Yeah, I think it's a slow punch from the front left. The rear left is shredded. So whether he's hit a bit of debris or he's just hit the barrier on his own, he needs to get that back to the pits. Oh, and there he goes round and hits the rear wing against the wall. Do not get that car beached. That was a reset to the track. So I think that'll be a penalty as well coming his way if anyone reports that one. As you can see, Ultimate Stan and Ledanes there on the other side of the circuit. I had this exact thing in Monaco last time out because of a crazy RB chucking it on the inside, and with the punches that I got on the car, if the car gets stuck, you cannot get it moving. And it looks like he's going to get it back to the pits. Just about. It has shredded the front left and the rear left there, and he's really struggling. He is really struggling to get this in the pits. Could this be a retirement for Alfie here? If he can't get that car to get in, he is going to be out. Yeah, I had the exact same thing in Monaco. If you shred the tyre from driving too quickly, you're out of the race. And there he is, stuck just a mere, what was that, probably 100 metres away from the entry to the pit lane. And Alfie will surely have to retire here and is going to drop more points in the standings, just as he could have took the championship lead tonight. Has he got in? No, he's still not in that pit. He's stranded in the pit lane, and that car will surely, yeah, have to go down as a retirement at the minute. He just cannot get it moving. You can see spinning the tyre up, but he's stranded there. And like I say, at the minute, this is a dream race for Ledanes. At the minute, he will take the championship lead if he can remain where he is with about 4 laps to go. What a dramatic race we've had here in Baku. There is Alfie still. and it's not going to move. It is not going to move. Take my word for it. I've been there. It is not going to move. B29 says, get out and push. So does Ewan. Absolutely. We need a Nigel Mansell moment here of getting out and pushing the car. He's absolutely spinning the rears, but it's not going to move. And there he is. He's disqualified. I knew it was going to happen. And he is out. Our top two in the championship are out of this quite bonkers F3 Azerbaijan GP. And wow, Ledain's now, he will know this. He'll see it coming up on his screen. What a chance this is for him. Alfie has retired, and I think he's just quit as well, just for good measure. And that's not ideal as the host of the lobby. But anyways, Ledain's then is unable to make any inroads then on Ultimate Stan. Can't quite catch him at the minute, but to be honest, with the way things are going for him, he'll be desperate to win the race. But just thinking the bigger picture here, that is going to be big points for his championship. Nepatel then in third behind. He's an absolute distant third on this lap 11 of 13. Raheem though, is he starting to close in? Maybe closing in then on Nepatel, despite having a seriously damaged McLaren front wing there. Sci-Fi Mega Hype also with big damage now on both end plates of that car. Carabold closing in on the Haas, but just unable to get anything from this race. These positions may stay the same in these closing stages here. Ollie Bean then with a fresh front wing and fresh tyres on that car, so he might finish quite quickly here actually. He could still catch Action Rick if he's got the pace. And Northey as well with the penalty, so he could still pick up P7, which is important for McLaren's Constructors' Championship, who are looking very good tonight. Thankfully for Haas, Sci-Fi Mega Hype is, again, doing damage limitations here for them, but he has Carabold now right on his tail after a bit of a poor middle sector there. Carabold gets super close to the barrier on the right-hand side, as we have a yellow flag, and it's only been, just as I said, that he was catching Action Rick, and he was. He took about a second and a half out of him there. He's gone straight down the escape road. There is Carabold then sliding his way through the final turn. And if he has a good old run here, which he very much does, he's going to take P5 of Sci-Fi Mega Hype. Goes to the outside on the Haas. Gets super close down the straight. I mean, it wasn't really necessary. But he is ahead then. And up into P5 as Sci-Fi seemingly struggling a lot now. Now he's got that extra bit of damage on the car. Really is struggling to keep the car through the corners. But, well, let's see then. Are we going to have any more DNFs? B29, sorry, Sluskern says, predicting 5 DNFs in F2. I think it could be more. I'm afraid. So, Ledain's bring it home from B29. And that's all you can do. As Action Rick makes the move for P7 then, ahead of Northey. We're on the penultimate lap then. And Ultimate Stan, ever since that restart, he took that opportunity, took the move from Ledain's, as in taking the lead. And he's not looked back. He's been imperious in this one. Not a big gap to Ledain's though, only 3 seconds, but a great drive from the Alpine man, and yeah, this looks like it's going to be a victory unless there's some almighty mistake on this final lap. I mean, it speaks volumes though. Look at the gap to Nepatel. These two have just marched off in the distance. Part of that being Nepatel's mediums will be quite worn out now. And further behind, Sci-Fi Mega Hype has stayed within... Well, I was about to say he stayed within DRS. He's just dropped out of it before the detection point. So he won't be coming back to Carabold on the final lap then. And I'm not sure there's going to be any other overtakes in these closing stages. Raheem as well just needs to bring that P4 home. Big points for McLaren after not a great race for Ollie Bean down in 9th. by his standards. And yeah, thinking of the bigger picture with some of these guys, Cisco and saying, I'm praying I'm not one of the DNFs in F2. And yes, the thing is, it's going to be a night of big opportunities, and that's what we've seen tonight here in F3. If you can stay in the race at Azerbaijan, you will get rewarded greatly, because the likes of Ladanes, he's going to take the championship lead here through good pace in this race as well, and being very competitive, but also by not making the mistakes. He's kept himself out of trouble, and he is going to pick up some vital points. Ultimate Stand then has not long to go before he becomes the 6th different winner from 7 races this season. It's been a very unpredictable championship here in F3 as he weaves his way through the last time on this start-finish straight, and he has been unstoppable since that safety car restart. He's weaving to the line because he knows he has won the F3 Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Ultimate Stand then, what a victory for him, and oh, Ladanes has crashed down the start-finish straight, weaving too much there, and lucky driver, because my word, that could have been costly if he hit the wall hard enough there. Nepatal gets a podium in 3rd, Rahim is in 4th, and Karabal then in 5th. Could be in the steward's room later on, that is for sure. Cypher Mega Hype comes home in 6th, and then a long old way behind is Action Rick. Rahim as well will gain big in the championship, by the way, because he was 4th in the standings, and with the top 2 not scoring points, he as well will bring himself into play in terms of championship contention. Action Rick then in 7th, and Ollie Bean is going to catch Northey here right at the death because of the penalty for Northey, a 10-second time penalty, and there is Ollie Bean. So that is your lot then for F3 Baku. A bit of a scrappy race, didn't quite have the exciting finish that we've seen so far this season, but yeah, it's going to be a big result there in terms of the championship. But this man here, Ultimate Stand, who knows? Is it too late for him to start to bring himself back into play in the standings? We will see. I mean, he is, well, he has only done Monaco so far, got a P3 there, and he's won here in Azerbaijan tonight, and he's a long old way off, but who knows? If he can keep up that form, maybe he can go for a late charge this season. But that is it then. That is your little other results on the screen. Your race winner, fastest lap, driver of the day, most overtakes, and the cleanest driver. So most overtakes going to Karabal, but then the cleanest driver being Nepatel. Good stuff. There is your full results on screen. Ultimate Stand winning from starting in P2, gets the fastest lap of the race as well, but a 9-second gap in the end over to Ladanes. That's not very accurate because of Ladanes' spin right at the end there, with Nepatel completing the podium and Rahim in 4th with the other Ferrari in 5th. Right then, so plenty to digest until the next one, and it's going to be, well, I think a lot of stewards reports, because there was quite a lot of chaos at the start, and I'm absolutely sure Scones will be furious with what happened early in that race. But that is your lot then for F3 this evening. We're going to dash off for the F2 race now. But next up, it is indeed the home race of the league, shall I say. It is the British Grand Prix next week, and that will be unmissable. Back to the normal layout, not a reverse track this time around, and I think everyone is looking forward to that. I've been CJH, your commentator on the F3 division tonight, and we'll be back in the next one.